Hello, fellow Whovians. Welcome to the Legend of the Traveling TARDIS. My name is Paparazzo Dave Chapman, and I'm going to be your host today. If you joined me on Christmas Day, I said it wasn't going to be me. I said it was going to be Melanie. And then we said we were going to do it on Tuesday. You guys didn't hear that, but Melanie had the flu and couldn't do it. last night I got to go onto Earth Station Who because Melanie was dying and still couldn't do it. Get a message this morning. So I'm still dying. Dave, you want to do the show? So here I am. I have a small crew today. We are going to be doing a second review of The Church on Ruby Road in our regular time slot on Tuesdays. So thank you guys, those of you who have joined me. It will be probably different people on Tuesday. So you'll get some different opinions today, as you will then. But with me today, let's start with bringing them in. We'll bring in the Rev. Hey, Tom. Tom's got to unmute himself because you muted yourself, I think. There you go. Now I'm assuming you're faking it because you're a dork.
First he says I don't get invited to parties. Now he says I'm a dork. I could be hanging out on Twitch with someone I know. Which I constantly really am right now. I'm multitasking, people. I'm on Twitch for someone else. I'm going to be on X for showing the super chat there, and I'm going to be on here as well because I am that awesome.
Yes.
And it's chocolate day as well. So there we go. Chocolate. Yum yum. What happened to Mark?
Dan, when did they shove it? At what point in the show and which did they shove a random advertisement in? It's not something I can control from where we are, but I'm happy to go look at it. Just for the record. And I do want to point out, hey, look, we started on time today. Sorry, Christian. All right. So with that having been said, let's bring up Mr. Candyman.
Hey guys, how you doing? This is the Candyman here. I am actually surprised that Dave's not just got on time, but he also figured for countdown as well. You said you was going to have problems figuring out the bi-generation, and with your 15 down to 1, it worked really well. So I'm well impressed. So
it worked. I'm happy. I'm thrilled. I'm happy. I'm debating what I want to do for. I'm like take the title sequence and like maybe put the Doctor Who in between them. I don't know. I'll figure it out. There may be a new version of that coming. There may not.
I like the numbers. I like how you've done the numbers.
Yeah, it was. I've been meaning to do that change for a while. And thank you for being on time. Yay! I know you can't control it, but they usually do it every show. Yeah, there might be a setting that Christian can change as to when it goes in, but that is theoretically part of why we have started putting in that big, giant, long pause at the beginning, in case it does it right at the beginning and it kind of suffers on people coming in live. As far as we know, no. Melanie does not have COVID. She just has a flu. Hopefully. And thankfully, What If Season 2 was shown 7 days instead of the usual weekly episode? Yes, that was a very cool little thing. Yes, how was everyone's Christmas? I hope everyone was good. Tom, how was your Christmas?
Well, I got money, so that's about it. Pay the credit card because if I want something, I'll go buy it myself because that's the way it is.
We're grown-ups now. We can do that.
I do have a Funko Pop. I'll grab it later.
Not fair. And you, Mark? Did you have a good...
My Christmas was a bit weird. We celebrated on Christmas December 23rd rather than Christmas 25th. Only reason is my brother, he's a paramedic, and so he was on call on Christmas Day. So rather than him leaving at short notice, we thought we'd do it on our Christmas Day on the 23rd, which was a bit weird. But I would like to thank you for anyone who works in emergency services or in the armed forces who did spend their time at work on Christmas Day. Thank you very much.
Yes, thank you all. And, hold on. Oh, no. Tasty Christmas.
Okay.
Tasty Christmas.
Of course.
Of course.
No, mine wasn't too bad as well. Our Christmas was a little bit spread out, not for nearly as good of a reason as you, Mark, but I ended up going in. Of course, my birthday was on the 22nd, so where I'm in Calgary, I had a birthday dinner with the kids on the 21st. They went back to their dad's. 22nd, I just kind of chilled. 23rd, went to Edmonton for a solstice party, which is been kind of like my unofficial birthday party with my Edmonton friends. except for the last couple of years when it's been virtual. And then came back to Lacombe, which is halfway in between the two cities, for Christmas Eve. Did most of my family Christmas Eve, because we had to go back to Calgary in time for the kids to get here Christmas Day. And then, but they didn't show up until after the live stream of the Christmas special, the one that we're here to talk about. How's that for a transition?
That's very good.
Segue. I'm going to skip the segue for half a second. Say I did get some cool games as well for Christmas. This one, the Almost Words, is a local game from Calgary. It's a word game I don't hate. And of course, Box One is Neil Patrick Harris's game. And so I'm super excited to kick into that. I am not going to be streaming that, but there's a good chance I'll record myself playing it. Because it is very much you're alone, right? You're alone, right? It's not just solo, it's secretly solo. So definitely going to work on that. But now the segue is not merely, what's going on here? Video quality is blurry, Dave, but at least the audio is all right, which is an upside. My video is blurry, or the entire video is blurry? Roger.
Oh.
Hello, Andrew. Roger says hi, Mark.
Yeah, hi, Roger. The Winter Kings just came down on ITVX, so I'll be watching that soon. That's another Bad Wolf production.
Ah, very cool. So let us, since we are now that I've ruined that perfectly good transition, of course, let's talk some Church on Ruby Road, because that is what we are here for, is to talk about the Church on Ruby Road. We're just using the live watch. Why do two? We gave Kevo the Christmas off, and our wonderful friend Faith did this up for us. So thank you, Faith, and thank you as always, Kevo, because you do amazing work. But yeah, so let's start with the important thing, being we are talking about an episode, so I need the
not yet.
Spoilers. If you have not seen the Church on Ruby Road, why not? First of all, just why? But yeah, there is going to be spoilers. We are not holding back. This is going to be great. There will be spoilers. There'll be wild speculation, and there will be ratings. 1 to 10 TARDISes. Candyman, what did you rank this one?
Good question. I think I'm going to give it about probably a 6 or 7. Maybe 7 at tops.
Okay. And Candyman?
Yeah, say it again. Say it again, Mark.
Okay, I'll give it a 7.
And because I can, I'm just going to not give my rating until the end. Ha! Okay, there's only 3 of us.
Well, that's all right then.
Yeah. We did an episode already. No, that's it. No.
What?
Just kidding. No, it is all right then. So why don't we start with the bottom of the barrel in so many possible ways. The entire video is blurry, Dave. I tried to close and restart YouTube app, but it's still blurry. Okay, so if it's just if it's everything, because we are running on multiple feeds, that has got to be. That's not an us thing. That's definitely going to be a YouTube or a your signal thing. That's not a thing we can control.
Can I ask Andy or Dan to see whether or not it's blurry at their end as well, just to make sure?
Yeah, that would be a good troubleshooting. Look at Mark being all good in troubleshooting. Feed us fine on Facebook. That's good.
Thanks, Andy.
I noticed that, well, we're on StreamYard, so it's crystal clear. But when I switch over to YouTube, it's a bit blurrier. But
Dan's on YouTube, and he says it looks clear here.
Okay, might just be depending on your signal and where you are. If you're regardless of where you're watching us, please do comment. If you are watching us on X or Twitter or Twix, TW/X, you can now comment there, and we can actually see it, which before we could not. So by all means, if you're watching us over on Twix, please drop us a hello and say something. Tell us what you thought of the episode. It says at least one person's watching over on there, so that's great.
Is that the left or right finger of Twix?
I like left.
Choose your side.
Interestingly enough, it says, "Oh, there it is." Okay. I'm just looking here, and it's not showing me everything it normally does, and it's kind of weird. I'm just assuming because there's nothing there. Anyway, sorry. Roger's gonna try on Facebook. Fabulous. Mike says we're looking good here now on YouTube, so that's great as well. Hi, I'm Ike. Thank you very much. So yes, starting at the bottom of things with Candyman.
What's Tom's writing?
That's what I was going to type in private chat. It's like, I didn't give mine. You said Mark, and he said Candyman. So Mark gave his answer twice.
Oh, did I? Never, oh, well, then.
Well, all right then.
What's yours?
Well, I was laughing so much I forgot my number. I'll go a little higher. I'll go 8.
You're gonna go 8? Okay. See, which is what I thought you had said. I'm just. What do I know? So, Mark, starting at the bottom of the barrel, Mark, why did you give it what you did?
So silly.
Right. The opening of the Christmas special was good. I like that. It was quite a thing. I thought that the mother who was walking was going to be Ruby, but we don't know yet. But it looked like it may be Ruby putting herself, like Ruby's mother is Ruby. There's something like typical cliche, but we never find out. Other good things about it. The action scenes are pretty good. The problem I've got, and I'm not sure, is about Ncuti Gatwa's Doctor. I like my Doctors quite dark, so I like McCoy, I like Capaldi, I like when David Tennant was Time Lord Victorious. The problem I have is with the bi-generation and with the 15th Doctor still living out his rehab, will that make Ncuti Gatwa just a happy, jolly, go-lucky Doctor and miss his dark side? And that's what I didn't see much of his dark side. I saw a little bit, but that's more of his emotional side rather than his dark side. Life is not like a box of roses. Life is hard. It's horrible. People are dealing with problems that you don't know. And that's why I like Doctor Who, because it is dealing with stuff, especially the New Who, dealing with the Doctor going through stuff, trying to deal with it while trying to save the universe. The Goblins. What can I say about the Goblins? That one. Oops, that one. Ow. I can't do this. Wait, that one there. They were all right. It was good that they used practical effects and there were costumes. The music, even though it didn't get to number 1 in the UK charts, it got to number 12, and it was Children in Need.
Number 4.
No, number 12.
Somewhere on one of the charts, they definitely hit number 4.
Yeah, I think. However, it was. I'm not a big fan of musicals. I said this before on the channel. I'm not a big fan of musical. And if you compare that song and compared Labyrinth Goblins, it's a completely different thing. It feels like the song's a lounge song, and it just didn't gel. But it was supposed to be on a ship, flying ship, and that's why I've got to drop it points. The story with time travel, changing time, was quite good. Quite Back to the Future sort of style. Erasing from being, I like that. Quite interesting at the end with Mrs. Flood.
Yeah.
Okay. I've got my own sort of ideas where who it might be. But last time who I said it, I thought it ended to be the Master. So I'm not going to go down that line because I always assumed Missy was Varani, not the Master. And so with Russell T Davies is bringing back Varani as Mrs. Flood, that might be interesting. But again, this is just pure speculation at the moment.
Irresponsible speculation.
So don't hold me to it if I'm wrong. Apart from that, I just feel like it had the action, it had the pace. I like Shooty in the dance club. It looks like the Doctor's like drum and bass and electronic music, which is pretty good. He was dancing to it. And just for people who know that the Fourth Doctor also wear a kilt beforehand, so it's in the Doctor's nature to wear kilts anyway. Just in case people say, "Oh, the Doctor's never wear a kilt." Yes, he has. Yeah, I think the family of Ruby was quite nice, set in Notting Hill, London, even though she's got a Manchester accent, which is a bit weird. But yeah, on a whole, I think the Goblins could have done a lot better. I think that's what let me down.
Yeah. For me, I think that I'll come back to this when we get to mine, but I think this could have easily been 90 minutes at least and given a little bit more meat to the Goblins. It probably could have even pulled off a 2 hour, whether it would have dragged it 2 hours.
Yeah.
But it definitely could have gone to 90 minutes easily. Mike says Fourth Doctor did not wear a kilt.
He did. I'm just trying to find the episode where he did wear a kilt.
Fabulous.
2 seconds.
Yeah, Mrs. Flood could be an elder. Mrs. Flood could be anything. There's all sorts of. And yeah, Dan's confirmed. Yeah, Tom Baker's Fourth definitely did. Dan says yes. Mrs. Flood's going to be interesting because she is apparently going to be coming back. There is not just a one-off gag. That's good. There was some talk that it might have just been the fourth wall break might have just been an EastEnder throwback because apparently her character did that in EastEnders. I've never watched EastEnders. Sorry.
Right, the episode's Terror of the Saigons.
That's what I was thinking because he wore Terror of the Saigons because he wore the beret and his own. He had a Scottish scarf on him, so I just didn't remember he was wearing a kilt.
Yeah, it was. What's it called?
This came right after Revenge of the Cybermen.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, the Brigadier has something for us to do. Let's go, Harry.
Yes. So what? Brig also.
The Brig wore the kilt. Yes, he did. The Brigadier wore the kilt.
He did. Yeah.
So it was not Tom. He just wore the beret and he wore a different scarf while Sarah was wearing his scarf.
Maybe I am wrong then. Let's carry on and I'll go and Google it and see if I am wrong. I admit I'm wrong, but I thought he did wear one.
We are trying to do less commercials on the show, but I'm going to do a quick one here just for the sake of doing it. And then we'll be back in a moment with Reverend Namagon. I just need to find the appropriate one. Somewhere we've got... here it is. Just Jake.
Jake Collins has been launched into the stratosphere by the popular social media app Yin Yang.
I just think it's incredible that someone from our hometown we knew so well.
That's my holy grail.
You are the closest thing this town has to a hero.
I'm still just Jake.
And we're back. Like I said, we're going to try and do some less commercials in the new year. We've got a lot of changes in the background at Legend of the Traveling TARDIS. And so we're going to try a few different things. We're going to be making some adjustments over the course of the next few months. So please, bear with us as we do that. But the core of this show is going to remain the same. So we're going to have fun. We don't, other than this coming Tuesday, we're not sure what we're doing this month. But we've got ideas going. So we're just gonna pop in here by memory. I think it was Sarah joking at Brig for wearing a kilt. No, Mike, you did not start a war. But Candyman can't not find something out. That's one of the things we love about him. Would Mrs. Flood's fourth wall break ending be the first? On Doctor Who, guys, can anyone think of any other fourth?
No,
Christmas.
That's for Christmas Day with the first Doctor,
Mhm.
and also with the fourth Doctor as well.
Mm-hmm.
Well,
When
we
he
got-
smiled when he brought in K9 Mach 2.
Yep.
Okay.
I think-
I vaguely remember, but I couldn't. I'm not nearly as good at pulling.
I think it was the first Christmas ever when William Hartnell turned around and wished everyone a Merry Christmas.
Mm-hmm.
I remember they also did that for the Adventures in Time and Space with David Bradley. So he was repeating what Hartnell did.
Yeah. Does that count or does it not? All right. So, Rev, you gave it an 8. Why?
I will, because I'm not starting with 10, so I dropped down to 9. And going from 9, I'll drop that down. Did you know Mrs. Flood is Brian May's wife?
I was going to bring that up when we started talking. When I want to talk about more music, and
my cousin told me that. I said, "Oh my god!" So I looked it up. So okay.
She also played Denise Watts in EastEnders as being the landlady of the Queen Vic. If anyone watches EastEnders out in the States, I don't like soaps, but yeah, she was married to Dirty Den.
There you go. Yeah, she's got her own career beyond being Mrs. Dr. Sir Brian May. I don't know which order those all need to go in, but you know.
Dr. Brian May.
Sorry?
Oh, was that a gremlin? Oh.
Maybe. Should it be Mrs. Sir Dr. Brian May? There we go.
Like my friend Dr. My Name, which certain people know.
Yeah. Fair enough. Yeah, no, I'm excited. I want a musical episode just to introduce Mr. Flood. you just get Brian May on the show.
Brian, come on. Make it Queen somehow, you know.
Yeah, exactly. Just do it. Just do it. Heck, do it. Have Brian May be Brian May. Do the Bones thing with ZZ Top.
I mean, he's an astrophysicist. There's always something saying,
exactly.
A planetarium, for God's sakes. Just say, we can see all these things. And he goes outside or looking through the big telescope and say, it's Brian May. They got him on the show. That's fantastic.
Yeah. It's gonna be interesting. Yeah, the new sonic screwdriver looks like a tricorder. Looks like a remote control. Doesn't look like I like what it's doing, but not necessarily that. What else? What else, Rev? Sorry, I sidetracked things with Brian May and went on my own tangent. Please continue. Yes, it is.
Yeah. So, yes, I do not want to start with a 10 because I want to see what's going on. If we think of it as, is it Doctor Who? Well, it's kind of campy, but Doctor Who encompasses everything. We're dealing with the results, the remnants, the situation of the toy maker, which was part of Doctor Who. So, it may be silly, but it's enjoyment of the whole thing. The goblins thing, like, okay, creepy. Spooky and creepy. I hear them in the background. It's driving me crazy right now. Mrs. Flood, watching her, it seems like this is a next door neighbor. Everything is fine. When she sees the TARDIS dematerialize, she's still Mrs. Flood. But my idea too, like Mark was saying, I'm not certain whom she is, but at the point towards the end, I think someone else took her place. So they took the place of Mrs. Flood. So Mrs. Flood could be like a little tiny thing or such. So that's an idea there. I can't remember why I dropped it down. But it was good. I think the Goblins things, I can go into musicals. The whole Phantom of the Opera thing was part of my past at one point in time. Why do we have voices in the background? And what was that number that Nick?
There was voices and like something was going weird on my camera, so it might actually be my camera that's got a goblin in it. But I'm also in a weird space, so
it's gonna eat Mark. I was like, I love the idea because Doctor Who has to evolve, has to change, and this is just the Christmas episode. Reading other information, it says it's going to get darker. The links I posted up, which take with a grain of salt, see how things are going to go. But we watched the trailer, like, okay, what's going on with this episode? What's going on that episode? And it's like, okay, things change. If it wasn't for Russell T Davies, we wouldn't have Doctor Who right now. I think so. It's the bickering on and off. They just know, like, well, as Christian always said, if you don't like it, there's always going to be another Doctor coming up. So, if you don't like this episode, fine, go watch the next episode. Everything changes. Nothing stays the same. It's always different.
For sure.
I'm still trying to figure out why I dropped to the point.
Something I'm going to try and find before Tuesday's episode is going to be Shooty did an interview. I think it was a BBC radio interview technically, but there was a video of it where he called this the healing era. And it was just kind of an off the cuff thing. And the interview went, no, yes. And so that's, as far as I'm concerned, people are like, what do we call this new era? I like the healing era. I think that's suited. I mean, we have him saying, hey, you're the Doctor, yes, and I'm the Doctor, and we're doing rehab in a different order. I think he is accepted with the by generation. I think he's accepted all of the hurt, all of the pain, all of the things that he was brooding over. He hasn't pushed it away. He hasn't. He just accepted it. It is, and he's moving on with his life, and he's able to do that thanks to this split and for whatever reason. And I know they're going to come back to it. They'll come back to more of that. But that's part of what I've loved about this, is the new attitude, the new fun. That's and I when I get to my rating, that was, we're here just for the sake of putting in a commercial break. We'll put a commercial break in, and then I'll come back. This is a commercial just from one of our friends, the Kitchen Killers. Hopefully, he's going to have a new commercial for us sometime in the foreseeable future.
We are a touring acoustic duo crashing kitchens around the country. We go from house to house every Friday night, and we create music, we create food, a good time, we stream it live, and we do it for free. So now we're just really kind of like trying to develop it and build a community group that people believe in, then they'll help us. So we played from our rehearsal room, we played from the bathroom, thankfully that didn't catch on.
I probably played guitar in my room, not for anyone, in front of anyone, nobody heard, for probably about 10 years.
And then one Friday night, we played from the kitchen. It's the main place people want to be. It's where the food is, it's where the drink is, it's where the best lighting is. You can go to any party and I guarantee you, the kitchen is going to be popping.
Our ultimate goal, I think, would be to crash kitchens every Friday all around the world.
And we're back. So it's my turn. My rating, I'm just going to bring everyone back in here because I can. Ding, ding, ding. I was on our station Who, some good friends of ours last night. And so I kind of got a better chance to think about this. When I watched it on Saturday, if you joined me, I said, I'm having a hard time finding a reason for this not to be a 10. And part of that was the energy. And I'm still, it's not a 10. It's not a 10. But if I math out what I gave it yesterday on a slightly different scale, it comes out to a 9.5. And I would even say 9.6, maybe even a 9.7. It's just niggly little stuff, right? I love this new energy. It is, when I go back and look at Chibnall's era, and this is as close to a Chibnall bashing as I'm going to get here, because I didn't hate it. I think it was definitely, his writing is not great. Is it a weaker era as a result? Most definitely. but just tonally, and even if I go back to really the last couple of Doctors, right? Even go back to Capaldi, go back to some, later Smith. It was so dark. It had lots of fun. It was still great. But this new era has just so much more effervescence. It's boom, it is there. It's fun. This is a Christmas episode. You can't gauge the entire season based on what is intentionally going to be something lighter and fluffier because it is the Christmas special. But it was really neat. The Doctor knows who he is in this episode. We don't have him sleeping through half the episode. We don't have him not knowing who he is. We don't have him brooding over whether he's a good man. He knows who he is. And it shows. Now, we also don't know how much time happened between him leaving and him showing up in this episode. Certainly it was long enough for him to put on pants. But other than that,
trousers, you mean? Yeah.
Yeah. Sorry for the Brits. Yes, trousers for the Brits.
Trouser snake.
Yeah. It was just a fun episode, and it did go back. If anything, it goes back to like it feels a bit like a lighter tone of Rose, and I don't love Rose. This one had better effects than Rose. But Rose came in, the Doctor came in with a big smile and run. It hit the ground at full speed, and so did this. And I loved that. I'm a big musical fan. I'm a musical theater guy from the very beginning. So I love, the song is fun. I loved when Shudian had to kind of join in as a, this is how I'm going to deal with these guys. I'm just picking up their vibe because that's what the Doctor does. And I thought that was all really well done. I like that the Sonic couldn't deal with the wood. That's good. They backed up a little bit on what the Sonic can do based on, from 14. I'm sure they'll probably ignore that plot detail, but and I like that where some of the Doctors would never have opened up at all, and if they did, it certainly would have been lower key. Yeah, I'm a foundling too. I was abandoned. It came. It was addressed. It was a somber moment, but not a down moment. Right? He accepted. This is what I am. This is who I am. And now I can move forward and find out more. That I don't know. That's kind of what I like. I just loved all of it. Andrew, you're right. I wish like I said at the beginning, I wish there was a 90-minute episode where we had a little bit more to those goblins. Maybe we will find out more about the goblins. I think they were really well done for what we got out of them. But I definitely would have liked to have seen more of that for sure. I do like 15 and the Ruby team dynamic in the Christmas set. Yes, those two together. What do you guys think? How do you like this pairing, Rev?
I liked it. And people keep saying, well, Ruby seems like be a clone of Rose or Clara. I mean, I don't pay attention to those things. I'm just watching for entertainment value. But is that a widespread opinion? Is she basically just another clone of another character?
I think the dynamics are quite good between Shooty and Millie.
Perfect.
They really work together really well. But that's them acting and being fun by themselves. Them being the Doctor companion relationship, we're going to have to wait and find out. I think we need to dive more into it before I can say, yeah, they're really good. Or It's not, because you never know. Like, it could be like another Sarah Jane, it could be another Rose, it could be another Ace, but all of them had different characters.
Mm.
And all like with the Fifth and Tegan, that worked quite well, but that was quite a unique relationship between the Fifth Doctor and Tegan. And with the Seventh and Ace relationship, that was more, again, surreal, where in the Curse of Fendrick, the Seventh Doctor had to basically put Ace completely down so she can stop believing in him. So it all depends on how Millie's going to react to the Doctor and how the Doctor's going to treat. And this is what I found really hard with Jodie's Doctor. She actually didn't interact with her companions that well, apart from Yaz. But Yaz, it was like, yeah, you know what I'm talking about, Yaz, don't you? Yes, Doctor, I do. And it's like, what? So I'm going to have to wait and see. And we'll see what happens with those two. It may work out or may not. Who knows? But that's my point of it.
No, that's fair. There's always going to be that element of wait and see. I think we all acknowledge there's that cycle to a new Doctor of, I hate this new Doctor. Okay, man, I love this new Doctor. Oh God, they're leaving. I hate this new Doctor.
Yeah,
that cycle seems to be almost vibrating in and of itself.
Well, like you're saying that's typical what happened in the 60s, where Patrick Troughton took over. A lot of people didn't like Troughton, and they wrote into the BBC saying, "Who's this clown? Where's our Doctor?"
Yeah,
and a lot of people didn't like it. And the problem is people don't like change.
Yes,
I'm one of them. I'm not a good person with change. But the problem is, like you said, after people got used to the change, they love it, and then change happens again, and they start hating it again.
Yeah, I'm just finding that there's a lot more people who have bypassed. It really has just gone where they bypass the "I hate this new Doctor." People are either instantly drawn in by his charisma, for the most part, not exclusively, but a lot of people are just drawn in by his charisma, and are already like, I already love this Doctor. I can't wait to see more of this Doctor. I have not been this excited for New Who in years, if ever, to be perfectly honest. I'm super excited to see what happens.
I must admit, I do find Shitty Gatwa. If you ever watch Eddie Murphy's Beverly Hills Cop, Axel F, it feels very, very much with that high energy, high octane gags. It just feels like I'm watching Axel F, and I find it really hard to switch between. No, this is the Doctor I'm watching, not Axel F. But again, it's. But Andy Morris and Mike both said there was too many companions. Saying that, so did the Fourth Doctor. Fourth Doctor had Tegan, Adric, Nyssa, and so it can work. It's just how you plan it. And problem with the previous showrunner, not mention his name, he couldn't play on their strengths or weaknesses, so it felt a little bit haphazard.
And there definitely were a lot of strengths in that group.
Yeah.
I'm telling you, I still want to see Graham and Ace have an adventure together. Like, those two also had great chemistry. Next Monday, Candyman will have to get used to a new year. No,
I'm taking the day off.
But which year?
People today will never know the pain of a new year and having to rip up physical checks, because you put the wrong date on it. You young whippersnappers.
The year will be 2367, I believe. I lost track.
Yeah, and Andrew mentions here that the cycle of Doctor Who's been weaponized, and that's I don't disagree with that, but that was kind of the other, when I said it by generated, that's the other half of that. There's a bunch of people who've just bypassed the I love it, and there's a bunch of people that may never get past the I hate it. And that split has been more defined than in previous regenerations, I think. And that's that just to finish the point that I was making before. But no, I'm looking forward to this. Like, I really, really am. RTD has been let off, has been let off the leash for one thing, but he earned that. He has grown as a showrunner, as a writer. Who RTD was in 20 years ago is not who we've got running the show now. But he knows what he's doing. I'm seeing all of these little drops, little Easter eggs to the past. Is that foreshadowing, or is that just him trolling us moments in even just in all of the last 4 specials, but especially in this one?
Do you think Russell T Davies will still do his underlying story arc, like Bad Wolf, in the first episode, or do you reckon he's
100%? I mean, there's going to be at least a through line of Ruby and trying to find her mother. I know, and a couple of people mentioned why, and that's a big what moment, is why did the Doctor not go after Ruby's mother? That's a really good question.
Which is why I'm thinking that woman is Ruby.
Mm-hmm.
But what about the Reapers? That's what gets me. Like, are they going to pop up, or is this like Red Dwarf situation where Dave Lister brings himself back to underneath the pool table, say, "Okay, so we got both things here." It's like, it's fantasy. You smack heads.
Be her own father, as well as her own mother.
I'm my own grandpa. You know, all that situation.
We could spend a whole episode discussing that theory of like Back to the Future. Does it erase? Does it bring Reapers in, or does it like carry on a completely different timeline?
And when you said the Back to the Future with Polaroid, that's the first thing I thought of. I was like, okay, the Goblin disappeared from that Polaroid. Okay, wait a minute here, and all of a sudden, well, where's Millie? Where's Millie? Like, oh, the actions are popping up right there and there. Like, okay, so everything going on, and then finding about she's married to Brian. So, well, maybe Brian's gonna be in there. Please bring Brian May in there. So it was a lot of action-packed things, and again, I can't think of why I dropped it from. So I'm gonna say 8.5 just because I can't remember.
Dave, can you pull up Mike's comment and see what you think about this? What? Yeah.
Yeah. No, I definitely agree. This is new Who. This is the next generation.
What we had a discussion on Facebook of what do we call the new season. I thought of calling it Disney Who, but then people were saying, well, Disney's not part of it as such, it's just what money it. One guy came up with a good idea of calling it Doctor Who Plus.
Mm-hmm.
So we got classic, new Who, and Doctor Who Plus. I think that might be a way forward. What do you call the new era?
I really like the healing era name. I think that's a good one in general. Whether that will stick past this season, past shooting, who knows? Same thing. RTD2. I love that as a name, but I really just want a TARDIS astromech. TARDIS astromech. RTD2. I think it's modern Who, Andrew says, and that's a great option.
So with me, when I hear modern, I think of the past, because the modern era is set in the past now. So someone suggested to me, to my point of view, modern, we've gone past modern era now. We're in futuristic. New Who Phase 2, that could be cool.
It's definitely options. This is Gen Z. This is definitely, I'm not going to say pandering to or catering to, but this is definitely aimed very squarely at bringing in the next generation of viewers.
Yeah.
In the same way that Eccleston and Tennant did. It was Christopher Eccleston's Doctor and the first 2 seasons of New Who are so drastically different than anything that had come before in the Whoniverse. Whereas now it's not that big of a jump, but it's a more significant jump than usual. You know, the ad at the end of the show is like, "Hey, Doctor Who's got a new home. It's right here on Disney Plus." I'm fine with that.
So shall we call this Doctor Who Gen Z or Gen C?
We could. That's certainly an option. Postmodern. I kind of like that. And also, yeah, just the Whoniverse era is also kind of nice because now BBC we've been using that. The fandom has been using that term for years, but now BBC has finally, I think, trademarked it, but also just kind of taken that, and on BBC iPlayer at least, that's what they're straight up calling it. They're the Tales from the TARDIS actually have a little bumper saying Whoniverse, in the same way that Star Wars episodes now do, and Marvel now does. It's got that's IP bumper of Whoniverse. Season 1 of 40 or Series 14. I mean, that's a whole nother can of worms.
But I know what you were saying earlier on, Dave, about the Doctor's got no, it's energetic and it hasn't got no baggage as such. But and we're introducing it to Gen C audience. But the problem, what I did like about with New Who, it did throw back to the classic era. So is this going to be no classic or New Who or throwbacks, or how they're going to link it in, or are they not going to link it in?
They definitely will. We've already seen it. We've been seeing it the last 3 episodes where you've got, the old companions coming in there. They've got, addressing the flux is something that had to happen. But there's definitely been Easter eggs and throwbacks these whole 4 episodes. So I think it is definitely, but they haven't been as, other than straight up having companions come in, they haven't been in your face, because they are trying to they're calling it a soft reboot, and that's actually pretty valid.
Because like when Tenth regenerated with Matt Smith, and in his first episode, as he walks to the prison guard, it showed all the faces of the doctors, didn't it? And so I don't know. Like I said, I'm a person who likes a dark Doctor, and okay, and we'll see what happens. You know what I mean? I think it's going to be worth watching. I think the special effects are going to be increased too much, and even like I said, the goblins. I'm not sure if you noticed this. I did watch Doctor Who Unleashed, but one of the goblins was actually a Teletubby.
I did not notice that.
I see how you can. No, what I mean is the actor who played one of the goblins also played Poe as a Teletubby.
Poe.
Yeah. Yeah, we know that Unit's going to be back in the new season, so we're going to have the
just no uniform change, please. My budget can't afford that.
Just buy yourself some tires. Be careful they don't have too much metal banding in it. Mel's back. We know that, which is great. As far as old companions coming back, having Mel come back, this is the era to do that, because she is, she can get her computer-ness on. Finally. I love Fun Doctor with the dark side. I think we're going to get that. We're going to get that. It's not going to be all roses and daisies. I'm enjoying the energy. It's starting at a high point, which means it can go down, intentionally down, as opposed to starting down and have to drag itself up, which sometimes feels like it's happening. Does that make sense?
We already had that for the 6th Doctor and the 12th Doctor, starting low and building themselves up. This time, as all the articles say online, It's like it's gonna get darker. It's getting darker, and they've already working on season 2, Millie and Shooty. So everything's gonna work out. Just have to be patient and find out more information. Don't just go, oh, I don't care about this. Well, things change. That's the way things are, good or bad.
Yeah.
No matter how many people said, "Oh, I don't like this," is all this, that. Well,
and the thing is,
it's your opinion.
Like you said, Tom and Dave and Christian, all you guys have said is like, it's change. If you don't like this doctor, give it a break. Yeah.
Yeah.
Wait back till you come back to another doctor you might like.
Yeah. Always try new things, like the Oreo cakesters. It was a brilliant little thing there, you know.
Wait.
You don't have Oreo cakesters? And
I mean, not that I've seen. Is that a giant, basically like an ice cream cake, ice cream sandwich cake topped with Oreo filling?
No, it's just where's my other one? It's in the bucket. It's not ice cream. We just had a soft snack cake with the cream filling in it.
Yeah, so that's basically, like I said, the outside part of of an ice cream sandwich, like that kind of a cake, or is it softer than that?
It's soft.
Okay.
Ironically, it came from, the idea was through Asia first, and then it was finally brought to Oreo in America, which of course this is now distributed by Mondelez Global, a Mexican company in New Jersey.
We don't have them. Andrew's got it.
You know, you gotta be up to it. It's like when I saw that years ago, I was like, okay, this is unique. I got it from the Asian market when I was in Atlanta, and now it's here. Things happen, you know, little tiny Oreo Pop-Tart bites, you know, things you try. You got to try things, and whether you like it or not. Like these gummies from Starburst, they're unique. But I still haven't touched them, but I still have. They did expire. I better start eating them.
Well, there we go.
Wagon wheels, wagon wheels. But wagon wheels are more like moon pies, I'm afraid, Andy.
Yeah. So no, Mike's right. If this was starting out like 6 or 12, then we would be really having a problem with the audience. I haven't seen. Have you seen the overnights on Ruby Road yet? I haven't actually seen those numbers yet. I know someone said they were out, but I haven't had a chance to look them up.
What's that for? Sorry, Dave.
The overnight ratings, the 24-hour ratings on Ruby Road, just the BBC ones, because obviously we're not going to get the Disney ones unless they want to. It is entirely possible that at the next investor meeting or something that we'll get. That's when if we're going to hear anything on numbers, it's going to be through the business end of things, not through a pop culture way. It'll be a shareholders meeting, something financial, and they're going to go, "Hey, Doctor Who blew up for us," or if it gets mentioned at all, because that's where they have typically brought that sort of thing up. Look at Ms. Marvel. When we know Ms. Marvel did as well as it did because they flat out said it. It's like they told their investors, "Holy smokes, this was our biggest show, our most downloaded show of Marvel," whatever the stats were. So it'll be very interesting. Reading the Gallifrey Chronicles by Lance Parkin, last novel before Eccleston became the Ninth Doctor. The Eighth Doctor books are dark, antithesis of this new season. Definitely. They're at 4.73 million. So that's down a hair, but from I think the third special. So I think that was 4.78 or something like that. But also, this is Christmas Day, people. That's a pretty good draw for Christmas Day.
And the other thing as well, remember, back in 2005, streaming services didn't really take off that well. Yeah. So the ratings, which would be like 10 or 9s and stuff like that, TVs don't get that anymore.
Yeah, no.
If you get anything over 5 million, it's a good show.
Yeah. Yeah. Top drama UK for Christmas Day. There we go. And I think even the previous one was, the previous 3 were top drama. The only thing that beat them were in the 7-day and in the overnights were reality shows.
Or,
2 of them.
Or EastEnders, probably.
I don't think they did. I think the numbers came out that it was the only things that were better than were the same two, just different episodes in the 7-day of those same 2 shows that beat them.
That would be like Celebrity Get Me Out of Here.
Yeah. It was number 3 for the BBC, just below the King's Christmas Speech, which makes sense, and Strictly Come Dancing, which is the other, which I think is one of the 2 that has always beaten it so far.
Yeah,
it was that one, and I think it was one other. So yeah, no, I mean, yeah, the King's Christmas Speech, that makes sense. Yeah, Strictly and I'm a Has-Been. Sure.
Yeah. Oh, Has-Been. I like that, Mike.
I knew there had to be a snark there, and someone else was going to get it.
Okay, apologies. I couldn't find the 4th Doctor wearing a kilt, so I may be misinformed. So I do apologise.
Fair enough.
And Mike is right. So I admit that I'm wrong. I'm wrong.
Excellent, and that is the best thing about this show, about this community, is we can change our minds. How many times have any number of us changed our ratings kind of mid-show and got, you know what? That's a good point. I hadn't thought about that. My rating is going up or down based on that, or just like I said, just this. Like, this is the answer. Nope, that's really not the answer. Never mind, that's not the answer. This is the answer. I love that about us as a group. I love you guys. I love you. We're gonna do the thing. We're gonna make the thing happen.
It worked. It for you again.
Let's see, put it down here to get more of them.
And that's how, whatever. Like I said,
and Mike says, "Thank you, Candyman."
Yeah, like I said, if I'm wrong, I'm wrong. And there's the thing about anything: no one's perfect. Everyone's going to make mistakes.
Yeah.
Yeah, to be there, the 4th Doctor had a long tartan scarf. Yeah, and the 2nd Doctor did wear tartan trousers. So
yeah, long tartan scarves. Yeah. 2 hearts. Yep. So yeah, no, this is we're gonna be back on Tuesday. I'm assuming that you guys at the very least will be back in the comments. I'm sure, knowing you. If you haven't watched the special, watch it. If you're one of those people who watched the first 10 minutes of the special and turned it off, I don't want to hear your opinion. You watched 10 minutes of an hour-long show. I'm sorry. You are welcome to have turned it off by all means. But you can't base the entire episode on 10 minutes. That's anything. And I've said that before. I'll say it again. So did 7 on the TV movie.
Huh?
I'm assuming the tartan pants was my guess.
Oh yeah. You were tartan pants.
Yeah.
It's also on the action figure. But like Dave, you said, it should have been 90 minutes. And as Sylvester said back in the day for Silver Nemesis, it's just not enough time. If we had, at least 90 minutes we could fill up something, or write the script a little bit shorter, because when we know what Mark doesn't want to say the name of the last guy, it could have been something spectacular. If it was a 2-hour show, we probably would have gotten everything we wanted. But then it's, we don't have time. We need to snip, snip, snip. A good example is MASH. It's on every freaking channel, it seems, in the United States. But you take it, say 3 channels are playing MASH, the same episode. Each one is different because whoever is in control is saying, well, I think this should be cut out, or this should be cut out. My dad told me that. He said, you watch the original one, less commercials. You had the entire show. Right. And then add more commercials. Well, we're going to snip this part. Well, they snip that part. So everything that ends up on the cutting room floor, it could have been something special, but we'll never know. Either write the story a little bit shorter or make the show a little bit longer, as it should be, so we can all enjoy it and get more exposition, get the more details. That's the whole thing. But I guess that's why I dropped mine, because it was like, it wasn't an hour. Well, it's 55 minutes or point something when I watched it on the other thing. So it wasn't at an hour and 1 minute.
But also, like you're saying, Tom, as well, I perfectly agree with you. Like, even on TV edits, they all change things or snip things because of whether or not, like in the UK, we used to have the watershed. Okay, so you couldn't show certain films below 9 o'clock.
Mhm.
So they will cut it or change words,
all the time
to fit into the demographic of the country and what time it shows.
that doggone person. You know?
Yeah, that happened a lot. That happened a lot in North America as well. I'm going to say North America because it didn't happen so much here, but it happened in the U.S. and that just bled over to us.
Yeah, it's like even now with Tom and Jerry, with smoking, they cut it because they don't want people to see them smoking as kids, so they basically replace it with a lollipop stick.
Yeah,
among other types of. Never mind. But there used to be a commercial. My assistant manager showed me. They had the Flintstones smoking cigarettes for. It was that time. Like, hey Bond, let's go in the backyard, have a cigarette. Okay, Fred. While the girls were doing all the housework, Wilma was cutting the grass, and Betty was doing this and that. Hey, nothing like a nice little cigarette from this company. You said, Fred. It's like, holy crap! But cartoons were made for adults. That's why it was always in the films.
Mm-hmm.
And then it's like, okay, kids can watch it too, but they had to go, okay, we don't want to see Yosemite Sam doing that with the Russian roulette for a time period because people were offended, but they actually brought that back. It's like, okay, people got the culture things change for good or bad.
It's also culture as well. Like if you get a lot of Japanese anime, they will not even pass the UK, US, or sorry, North America censorship. But over in Japan, it's absolutely fine.
Yes. Yep. They changed one of them. They changed the blood to look white.
Yeah.
So for it's a little bit that's a bit dirty right there, but that would never get to the US. And well, we'd rather see the red instead of the white because that has some naughty things to it.
Yeah.
We accept violence, but we're not accept those naughty things all over it's covered in white.
Oh, do you remember the 80s cartoons right at the very end when they used to give you the moral story line? Do you remember that, Dave?
Vaguely, yeah.
They did for He-Man and of course G.I. Joe.
Yeah, like the moral of the story today is always be nice to your people around you.
Yeah. Yeah, no, that was fun. It was weird. It was fun, but I mean that was also the American side of that. That was weird because I mean it was these are all toy commercials. You have to have the bumpers. You have to have the after these messages will be right back. So there was a legally defined difference between these are the commercials for the toys, these are the cartoons based on the toys. My mother had borrowed a book from one of her friends, and it was basically modern television's the devil. This was in the 80s, and it was like the author was mortified when she went to pick her child up from Sunday school, and they were watching Disney's Cinderella, because of all the evil magic in it, and Care Bears are awful because talking magic bears, and it was that level of stupid. I mean, then you had the Ninja Turtles are bad because you're going to get kids trying to pulling out manhole covers and trying to get lost in the sewers.
But they changed it in the UK, the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles to Teenage Ninja Hero Turtles.
Yes, yeah. All some of the weird changes that get made or not is. There are people who do their master's thesis, probably doctoral theses on that sort of thing. We could definitely do an entire new show just on talking about that. I'm sure someone probably 5 other people already are.
Well,
Secret Galaxy is a great channel. Yeah. That does that sort of. Here's the history of Ninja Turtles. Here's the history of this thing or that thing in this movie, this toy line.
Yeah, I must admit, back in the 80s, Mary Whitehouse, she was the one who basically wrote into the BBC and complained about how dark Doctor Who got Oh, He-Man. Yeah.
Yeah. Hero Turtles because ninja and nunchucks were too risky. Yeah.
Cinderella. My God, the Vietnamese version of Cinderella, the stepsister cut her toes off to try to fit into the glass slipper.
Oh, that's the original version. That's not. Yeah, that's the original German, the original fairy tale.
And also the fact Cinderella killed her stepsister, turned into chili. Her stepmother ate it and found out that she was eating her daughter, and she dies of a heart attack. I mean, that's why they're called grim fairy tales.
Yep.
That's
I did a paper in post-secondary on the Disneyfication of folklore, and yet because it's just like the things they did. I was one of the only theater majors to ever pass that course because of the workload. But it was like, I'm sorry, The Little Mermaid did not live happily ever after to have sequels.
Nope.
You can figure it out. Yeah. That's the thing.
So is that a good thing then? What Andy just said? Is bad publicity a good publicity?
That falls into the old axiom of bad publicity is good publicity. Any publicity is good publicity, even bad publicity. I think that's gone. That's gone now. That with modern internet, with the echo chambers that people are in, that stopped being a thing. When it was, hey, I can write into my local newspaper. Yeah, no, that's definitely a thing. Oh, there was the Tipper Gore, the whole thing with trying to ban music in the U.S. Probably I assume a similar thing happened over in the UK, but and then having the lead singer from Twisted Sister show up in his big 80s metal hair and his ripped shirts, not even trying to fit into Capitol Hill, and just absolutely leveling all of these because he's very well spoken and you don't realize it, and just leveling these legislators, going, you guys are idiots.
Yep. Right, especially with the US Senate and video games, that was like big stuff.
Yeah. So there was a time, I think, where the nature of media, that was an accurate description. Any publicity is good publicity, but not anymore. Now the echo chambers are just too loud. Where if there's bad press, it's not getting out as a haha, you foolish person. It's now just circulating in the troll farms in their own little universes. It either doesn't get out at all, or at least the very least the dissenting opinions either way don't get there. It's all, no, this is what's on Fox News, that's reality.
Yeah.
It's fair and balanced.
Frank Zappa did more or less the same thing over music censorship. Yeah, exactly. There was a ton of people over music censorship. There's the satanic panic of the gaming industry. Dungeons and Dragons was not the only thing. Steve Jackson Games is a great tale. Who does the GURPS RPG? They do Munchkin as their biggest thing. They've got a bunch of games, but they got raided by the FBI and all of their stuff taken away. They got most of it back, but that's what that era of conservative censorship was doing. It was hilarious after the fact, but at the time it was deadly serious. I really think, and that's, I think a good spot to kind of end this is everything that we're saying right now as far as what how Doctor Who has changed, whether that's a woke argument, whether that's this argument, whether that's that argument. I hope that by the 70th, 75th anniversary, all of this is going to seem quaint. This is not going to be an argument. This is not going to be it's like, yeah, okay. Because it already is for Gen Z people. They none of these things are outrageous to them. So I really hope that in another 10 to 15 years, because the show's not going anywhere, that this all just seems and in the same sort of way that a lot of the 80s stuff and 70s stuff now do. Steve Jackson's a really nice guy. I've met a few times at cons in Tennessee. Yeah, no, he really is. I've met him once or twice. The whole company's great. Thankfully, UFOs and UAFs are in the news these days, which is good because when the U.S. government admitted they talked to aliens and it just got kind of overrun because of the news cycle. Now a lot of bad press spreads like hateful. Exactly, that's what I'm saying. Everything just kind of boils around in its own little thing. Candyman, last thoughts.
I think, like you said, it's Doctor Who. You take the good and you take the bad. And like I said, Shooty's got loads of energy. I think Millie and Shooty may work out really well with a good dynamic. But yeah, all good. Keep on watching. The next debut of Doctor Who is May 2024.
Wow.
Yes. Have to wait a little bit. Rev, what final thoughts? Hype your stuff.
Oh, of course.
Yeah,
Me. YouTube.com/@Reverend Amagon. I am Tasty Cake. I always love people to view my stuff. I'm looking for 25 more subscribers just to get that 100, just for, vanity sakes. But you know what? Just come all over it anyway. And, that's all right then.
That's all right then.
Look at all the stuff I got to talk about.
Woo!
And some of it will be Doctor Who. But for now, as Dave is winding everything down, I've got to go chat here and chat there. And I got a video to make about a certain actress I know, if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
Recognition.
He's No, I think this has been a great time. Thank you guys for joining in. Thank you for in your chats. I'm excited. I said it before. I am so excited. Is it May yet? Is it May yet? Is it May? It can't be May yet. I've got too much travel to do in March. No, it can't be May yet. That's a terrible plan. But is it May yet? I think this would be great. Please, if you haven't already subscribed to The Legend of the Traveling TARDIS, please make sure you got a chance to do that. Don't forget to like, subscribe, blah blah blah. Yeah. And don't forget about Reverend Amagon. We don't have a banner for. We should make that happen. I'm less than 20 away myself from the goal that I had made for myself for my birthday on the 22nd. I'm less than 20 subscribers away over on my YouTube channel to hit my goal of 46 new subscribers before my 46th birthday. We'll just go before New Year's. So take a look over there. Join us back here on Tuesday, where we will have yet again another review with some new people. Some more people are going to get to have a thought, because Christian likes using this little graphic. If I can just find the thing, there we go. There's your thank you for watching. Don't forget to like us. I don't know why I like so much. Comment.
Just comment. Comment.
Yeah, just
comment.
Anything. No matter what you say, just say something. Share this out and please subscribe. For those who are new around here, we always we throw up those last handful of comments during our final credit sequence. So with that said, Tony, take us out.